That's voodoo what you're doing there. That's not possible.
Well, Adrian, it's a pleasure to be chatting to you today. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Very well. Well, I was just in Mexico actually. I just got in last night.
Were you on holiday?
Yeah, just for a few days. Yeah.
I don't know if you recall, I was telling you that I'm in the west of Ireland. I gave you a County Mayo flag in
Yeah,
Bristol a few years ago.
yeah. I can't remember that. Yeah,
Your mom's from Mayo, isn't she?
that's right. Yeah, Ballon Road.
Yeah. When's the last time you were over this direction or in the Mayo direction? I'm sure it's been a few years.
Um, I was there during the World Cup in the mid '80s. I forget which year that
Uh,
was, but I think Argentina won it. But I just remember the World Cup being on. I was out there for about a month actually.
Obviously, we're here to talk about the Smith Kotzen tour and about the Smith Kotzen project.
Yeah,
You're two and a half albums in. That's the longest solo project outside of Maiden, the most discography you've released.
yeah. I mean, it has the second album. I think there's quite a gap between the first and second album.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think when we did the first one, Richie was still in the Winery Dogs, and he had a solo band. I had Maiden, so it's very difficult to find the time
Mm-hmm.
to get together and work. But we always wanted to do another album because
Mm-hmm.
the first one had success. So and we enjoyed doing it. I mean, that's the main thing. So yeah, I mean, two albums. I did two albums with my band Sucker My Tail back in the '90s. I listened to them the other day. I was quite surprised. They stood up pretty well. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I like to do stuff outside. I always have, and now, of course, Steve is doing it, and Bruce has always done it. So it's good to be busy.
I spoke to Richie and he compared what you do kind of to Deep Purple Stormbringer. Now I know you're a Deep Purple fan, and he was kind of saying it was like the Coverdale and Glenn Hughes thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an apt description?
Well, there aren't many bands or projects that have two singers because having two lead singers uh, is you're going to get you think you'd have a lot of friction, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't. And it worked great in Purple. I love the fact that you can have two singers and swapping lines, harmonizing. I've always wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it takes a bit of weight. I mean, I've done projects where I've done the whole shebang. I was fronted the band, singing and playing, and it's really hard work. You don't get a chance to think about what you're doing. But with the two of us, we can share the load, and it's really a lot of fun.
I was a big fan of ASAP and of
All right.
both Psycho Motel albums, but you only sang on the first one, so you hadn't
Yeah.
sang in a band on an album between what was that? Well, I guess you did a little bit of back and singing on Primal Rock Rebellion, but
Yeah.
my question is, what was it that brought you back to wanting to sing as well as play?
Yeah, it's a pretty good question. I suppose it's always been in me. I started out as a singer. I've done this with Dave Murray, the Iron Maiden guitarist, when we were 15. There was only a few kids in the neighbourhood who had long hair and were into Purple and Sabbath. Everyone was into
Mm-hmm.
soul music. All the girls were into soul music. Dave and I used to take heavy albums to parties, and they'd be ripped off the turntable. After about a minute. Anyway, my point is, I always wanted to get back into it. It's in my blood. So it was nice to pick it up again. I started just doing odd blues jams. I mean, this is quite a few years ago on a Sunday afternoon, just when I wasn't working, just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just do a bit of Hendrix, Cream, Free, all that stuff, and singing just with a bass player and drummer. And I just really enjoy it. I love doing it. So I wanted to pick it up again. But with Richie, it's taking it up a few notches because I mean he's been doing that sort of thing for many years.
Mm-hmm.
He's an expert at it. So working with him really sort of brings out the best in me.
He's quite a guitar player, isn't he? Do you ever look at what he does and go, wow, your jaw hits the floor when he's picking away and he's just sliding up and down on a telly? Uh, how does it make you feel?
Yeah. I sometimes I watch him and I said, that's voodoo what you're doing there. That's not possible what you just did there. I don't know how he does it. It's just I think he started playing guitar when he was 8.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed a lot of guys who are real virtuosos start when they're very young. In other words, their motivation for playing music wasn't girls and being on stage with a band like me when I was 15. I thought, what can I do? What can I channel my youthful energy into? But maybe that's part of it. I think part of it is a physical thing.
You're a guy who, outside of these bands, who has always operated as a solo guitar player. What was it like? I mean, obviously, aside from that, Dave Murray has been your number one partner, but then you had to slot in with a 3-guitar Maiden thing.
Yeah.
So how was it slotting in with Richie? I mean, as I say, given that you've most of your projects, you've been the only guitarist.
It's a kind of an unspoken thing, or even we may have spoken about it a bit. I think when we write a song, Richie and I, and record it, we both want to be represented on the track. So it's not like one track features Richie, one track features me. Maybe you get a little bit of that, but in the main, it's sort of 50, everything's 50-50. Mm-hmm. And so it's no problem at all. Mm-hmm. It just fits together, what we do, I play a bit more kind of stripped down, not so many, not so technical probably, but, I do have my technique. You know what? If you play it like you mean it, it's going to come across whether you play a few notes or many notes.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that we have different styles is another good thing, because it widens the sort of, the palette we have to create a song. So, like Richie will come up with a crazy, like in a song, Taking My Chances, he just came up with a jazz fusion bit in the middle there. I wouldn't have done that, but it's great, so that's what it's all about, just working with different people and tapping into different ideas.
So I imagine you have ideas that you bring. Does it differ? Do you go, that's probably for something else and not Maiden? I mean, for example, like say for Writing on the Wall, the Maiden track, that's very Celtic. And I'm actually surprised that made it as a Maiden song and maybe not a Smith Kotzen song.
It's interesting, that one, because it is kind of folky. Like you say, it's a little Celtic. It's a little bluesy. Mm-hmm. It just gives a little insight into how this kind of music came about. The blues came out of America, the Deep South, from the slaves. But the slaves must have got hold of guitars at some point, which was like more of a country kind of thing. So it's a blend, really. Mm-hmm. All this stuff is quite interrelated. But no, I thought Writing on the Wall from day one was a Maiden song, and I had the idea I had the title and the rough melody for the chorus, and Bruce just kind of took it to another level.
Moving on to chat about the album, about Black Light, the opening track, Muddy Water and Blindside. It's interesting to me. The album opens with guitar harmonies and closes with guitar harmonies.
Nothing in between, right?
Yeah. And so what was it about, I'm going to do harmonies in this?
It's funny, yeah. I've never, although I'm a massive Lizzie fan, Wishbone Ash, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, we do a lot in Maiden. Steve writes, he's really, really into guitar harmonies. So he'll come up with endless guitar harmonies. Mm-hmm. Because I've always focused on writing shorter songs, I've kind of, I just, it's not a calculated thing. I don't know. And with the Escape with Muddy Water, we just needed an intro that sort of hooked you in a little bit. So we just came up with that. We never discussed doing harmonies. Richie will harmonise stuff naturally without me asking him. He would just do it and it would sound right, like in a song called Scars at the end there.
Yeah.
A little bit of a harmony thing. It's great. We did do a thing on stage in one of the songs on the last tour where we kind of worked up this harmony bit. It was very simple, but it was so effective, just the two of us, and it was a slower song. I can't remember. I think it was the song I Want to Stay.
Yeah.
And it was just great. And you could see people feeding off it, and it just raised the energy level. So, yeah, maybe I should do more of it. But if you do it all the time, maybe it's not so effective. But if you do it sparingly, maybe it's has a more impact. I don't know.
You were chatting there about the different styles and about the blues and the folk and stuff. And something I love about the album is, right, first off, Muddy Water, really weird timing in places. It's like, were you listening to Zeppelin or something? And then Black Light, you've got this, you're playing this funky thing up here.
Yeah.
Is it important to you? Do you like bringing in those kind of unexpected, I guess, kind of sides?
Well, Muddy Waters was the first thing we recorded, and Richie had the demo. He pretty much came up with that timing thing, and he had the idea for Muddy Water, and I loved it straight away when he played it to me. I said, "That's got to be the album." I said, "That's probably a good album opener." Then we worked on the vocals and the back and forth and the little harmonies here and there. It's interesting. It's a different song. It's one of my favourite songs on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Light started off as another song. I think it was called "Dressed Up to the Nines" or something, or "The Nines."
Yeah.
And we finished it and we looked at each other and went, "No, I don't like no." But there was something that we liked about it, so we kept the drum track and just rewrote, played those, just kept the drums, and I was listening to the drums and I came up with those chords and the vocal, sort of Phil Lynott inspired, unashamedly, And then we took it from there, and then we came up with this. It's always good to have a strong title, and I thought Black Light was a real strong title. Certainly better than Dressed Up to the Nines.
Yeah, it's a little bit kind of 80s or something. That
Exactly, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about White Noise. To me, I love the title of the album, Black Light, White Noise, and it reminds me of David Bowie's Black Tie, White Noise. But
Okay.
White Noise, this real heavy track, a lot of attitude. I noticed you were playing this in the video. What is that? The same guitar from the Maiden England video, the original one, or is that one of your?
No, that's my signature guitar. I think there's a few different ones. There's the one you've got there.
Yeah,
I assume it's that.
Yeah,
which is that one there, maple neck, black scratch plate, back pickups.
Yeah.
Got another one which is a rosewood neck, black pickup, white pick. It's different configurations.
Yeah.
But we are bringing out a 50th anniversary of the first 80s Jackson with a white headstock. That's, it's going to be the original one and that. And I've got a prototype here, and it's really, really nice. I've been playing it. So I'll probably use that on the next Maiden tour, but we'll see. But I don't use a lot. I only use 2 guitars on the album. They're both the signature one. That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the other one is. It's tuned down a semitone, and then on one guitar it's dropped down. So it's not a drop D, it's a C sharp. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bit confusing. Anyway, so I only use a couple of guitars. I think we used 1 amp on the whole album. Richie had this old sort of Plexi Marshall, and we just plugged into that. Sometimes I use a tube screamer or something, just to give a bit more a wah.
I wanted to chat to you a little bit about your solos. I'm a massive fan of your solos. I love how melodic they are and everything you do. And I was wondering, is your approach different in Smith Kotzen to Maiden? Because I've always found your solos are built, right? It seems to me that possibly there's a little more free flow, maybe jam kind of to Smith Kotzen stuff. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I think that'd be an accurate observation. Yeah. I think when I first started with Maiden, I used to really work out my solos, and that's where the melodic side. I've always had that kind of sense of melody. It's also what you're playing over. I mean, probably what I actually play is not a lot different to what I play with Maiden, but it's obviously what you're playing over is very different.
Mm-hmm.
And the speed of the song, is usually more up tempo with Maiden. But the sound is the same. It's in the hands. You use the vibrato, and the sound is kind of similar. But you put it on against a different backdrop, and it has maybe a different effect. Mm-hmm. Maybe the bluesier side comes out a little bit more.
Just while we're talking about guitars, I saw a great picture of you and Kirk Hammet, and you're holding Greeny.
Yeah.
And I know that you're a Gary Moore fan. You mentioned Thin Lizzy.
Oh God, yeah.
What was it like for you to be holding that instrument, and what did it feel like for you to play it?
Well, there's no doubt about it. That is a special guitar. I mean, the mojo is off the charts. I mean, Peter Green and Gary Moore, and the classic middle position, the out of phase neck pickup. And there it is, the sound. I mean, Kirk's a great guy. He's a lovely guy. And I bumped into him in a hotel in Canada. We're just waiting for the lift. We're just checking in. Metallica were there. And the first thing I said to him, I said, "Oh, you bought Greeny? Wow." You know, he's going, "Yeah." He goes, he says, "I've got it. You want to play?" I said, "Yeah." So I went to his room. Ross Alvin was there as well because he's a mutual friend. Although I know Kirk a little bit. And we sat and he gave me the guitar, a little practice amp. And of course I did. Oh, well, you know, of course. And then he said, "Look, I've got to go out." Him and Ross were doing some photos. He said, "Take the guitar, just play it." So I took it to my hotel room, you know, and I had a little practice amp in there, and I played it all afternoon. It plays great, you know. It's the intonation, the feel, the sound. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's a great guitar. And I'm glad somebody's using it, and it's not on a wall in somebody's, you know, air controlled, climate controlled guitar locker. It's out there being played, was what it should be, you know.
By a similar tack, I'm guessing you played Dave Murray's Paul Kossoff.
I don't think I actually played it. No.
Wow.
No, I don't think I ever played it. I might have picked it up, but I certainly didn't. I think back then I probably wouldn't have. Now I appreciate. I know more about the guitars, and I know what I want, and I know what's good. And back then I was like, I didn't really know. And I mean, obviously it served Dave really well, and it had incredible mojo. Paul Kotzen was a fan of his as well, but Dave really changed the guitar. I mean, he put pickups, different pickups in. I hope he's got the original scratch plate with the original pickups. That'd be great, because with the Strat you don't have to rat everything out. So
yeah.
But no, I didn't really play that guitar.
You're going on tour with Smith Kotzen again. Are you looking at mixing up the set list?
Yeah, we'll definitely be playing some new stuff. Really excited to do. I think some of the songs will really translate well to live. When we record, we don't really go overboard on the overdubs and production. It's pretty straight. So I think those songs will work great live. And also we'll be playing some of the songs from the first album as well that, you know, were a cornerstone of the last set.
Obviously, your concentration is on the material that you have now, but just going back through your past, you've got Urchin, She's a Roller, ASAP, Silver and Gold, The Last Chain by Psycho Motel. It'd be great if you could drop all of those into the set. Would you be tempted to dig up some of those types of songs?
Yeah, I should give it some thought. Yeah, it might be interesting to do that. There's so many songs that you do over your career, you know, and they all have an energy about them. And I think good songs are, you know, hopefully, you know, timeless, you know.
The Last Chain, that's a song that's never been performed live.
No. And I do regret not doing that with the second version of Psycho Motel, because there was some cracking songs on there.
On the same kind of key, on that last tour, you did play Wasted Years. What about Sea of Madness? You know, Back in the Village. Those are tracks that never get played. I mean, I think that a lot of people thought that Sea of Madness might make the Future Past tour, but since it didn't, you know, would you like to be performing that again?
Yeah, I mean, I like that song. We did it. We did do it a few times in the 80s. Sea of Madness. It worked quite well live. So. Yeah, maybe. Back in the Village. The funny story about that song is I bought a white Flying V backstage at a show in the 80s. Somebody brought it in for the Priest guys and they didn't want it, so I bought it. It cost me $750. And I sat down and the first thing I played on it was Back in the Village, the riff. I don't know why. And I never really played it much after that, but I got a song out of it, you know. Play every guitar's got a song in it. You know, I've forgotten about all these songs you're bringing up, you know.
You're going to have to
the old memory, you know.
Yeah, you're going to have to do like a separate solo tour with all of these tracks on it, you know.
Yeah, obscure songs from the past. Yeah, it'd be nice to give them an airing. Yeah.
There was something on the last tour. It was a really special moment. I was there in London, and you got Nico up to play Solar Fire. What was it like to have him play? Because that goes right back to, say, the entire population of Hackney. He was a member of that, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, Nick's the sort of bloke who just likes to play music, you know. So, I mean, back with the entire population of Hackney, he suggested we get together. I had a few friends, and we did. I think we did the Marquee Club in London. Yeah, it's great. I mean, Nick's got such great energy. He played on the first SK album, and we got him up to do, Wasted Years with us at the Islington. Yeah, it's a special moment. He's a great guy. And, people love him, don't they? Everyone loves him.
I wanted to touch on the book. The book's called Infinite Dreams. Why is Infinite Dreams not in the set list?
Yeah, good question. I think it was penciled in. It was penciled in. We were going to do it, but for some reason, I don't know why. We didn't end up doing it. I don't know why. It's interesting. Yeah. The whole big 50th anniversary book, and then we don't do the song. I mean, Maiden has got so many songs. It's just hard to cover everything.
What was it like for you to look at that book and go, oh my God, my life's in there?
Incredible. I love some of the things like Steve Harris's diary, where he's got the guys getting together one Christmas and talking about forming a band, first rehearsal, first gigs, 20 quid, got paid 20 quid, all this stuff. It's brilliant. Love that.
We're looking forward to Nebworth now. Have you enjoyed the 50th anniversary tour, and what does it mean to you to be playing a huge, huge show like Nebworth?
Well, it's special. I mean, we did it before, and Nebworth has always been, I hate this word, it's so overused, isn't it? Iconic, but it kind of is because of the Zeppelin connection and everything. But we've had some incredible occasions, and we call them gigs now. I mean, London Stadium, 73,000 people, just a great night. And the thing that pleased me about that gig was we were kind of on form. Sometimes if you play London, there's so much pressure and so much aggravation, people wanting tickets, just want to get it over with. But that was great. I mean, great audience. Everyone said the sound was really good, which is important. You don't always get that in big arenas. And but of course, Nebworth's a massive. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
Does it surprise you that Maiden are bigger now than you've ever been? A lot of people say that about bands, but it's actually true in your case.
Yeah, people say that. Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, it's. I have to say though that with the band's philosophy was always to take the music out to the people, because it was never music that was going to get mass radio play. And I think when you build a career like that, it lasts a bit longer than just having a few big hit records. We've actually gone to all these places. We used to do 15-day tours in France and go to every little city and England as well, all over the world. It hasn't always been us playing massive gigs and everyone coming to see us. So we've always took it out there. People remember that, and I think that's why the band has stood the band in good stead, later in their career, because people remember that. It's like an honest way of building a career, I think.
Before I let you go, then I have to ask you, what's next for you? Are you thinking about a third Smith Kotzen album? What's in the future?
Yeah, I mean, this is my music room. I'm always sitting messing around. I think, coming up with riffs, and I like to be creative. I seem to be getting more creative as I get older. So, I need an outlet for it. So, yeah, why not do a third album? I'm not thinking directly about it yet, but let's get this tour out done and then see where we are. But yeah, I would say so.